365 days ago, I began my journey on the next chapter towards destiny. Ghana, my mother. And since being here, I realize how much I look like her, talk like her, and even think like her. Today, I share a bit of my journey with you in the hopes that it helps you grow also. Alright, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jaleesa the Realist, and today is the day that marks 365 days, y'all, since I've been in Ghana. And I thought the best way to celebrate would be by answering your questions. So I would love to take this opportunity to thank you for, first of all, even following me on this journey, this new chapter of my life. But I also want to thank those that have taken the time to ask me a question. And so everyone that's asked me a question is going to get a gift from me. And over this series, if I have asked your question, I want you to send me a DM with your address so that I can ship you something here from Ghana. So how about we just get into it and start with the first question. I'm going to give you a little disclaimer. Okay, this is gonna get very personal. I'm about to be very, very real with you. Okay, things that I say are just my experience and my take on life. And so I hope that you are able to receive whatever it is you're meant to receive by watching these videos. Yeah, let me just leave it at that and let's get started. All right, so the first question comes from Kalista Kapinga. Thanks for your question, girl. Make sure you send me a DM so that you can get your gift from Ghana. Your question is, how did you pivot your career and adjust to new life? How did I pivot my career and adjust to new life? Okay, so first of all, let me tell you what my career is. Basically, at this point, I would just consider myself a serial entrepreneur. Back in 2017, I started my very first business as a confidence coach. And that was me stepping outside of the box, stepping outside of my comfort zone, and making sure that, you know, I was reaching for more than what the world or the status quo or the norm was telling me to reach for, especially as a young Black woman who is a mother. You know, society definitely would have thought or planned different for me, but in 2017 I decided that there was so much more for me to experience outside of this bubble that I was living in. And I was working a job where the environment was horrendous. Like, I hated going to work. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. When I was sleeping, I was getting nightmares about the job. And I actually went to HR about it and was sharing my experience. Long story short, the girl told me that I just need to come to work and mind my own business. So that's exactly what I did. I started to mind my own business and really become intentional about building my business with a strong foundation and, you know, giving myself a chance, because I'm like, there's no way that I should be here miserable every day working for someone that doesn't care about me and my well-being, obviously, when I can use you know, my time to figure out a way out of this. And so yes, it definitely was a challenge. Okay, it was hard working a 9-to-5 where I felt completely drained, to coming home, you know, picking up my son. Now I gotta cook, I gotta make sure the place is tidy and livable and okay, after that, after my son goes to bed, you know, by 8, sometimes 9, because now his tummy hurts and he's hungry and he needs all of the things. Okay, I'm tired at the end of the night, but I had to make sure that I was putting in that extra time to build myself and my business. And so, yeah, I would say by 2019, I had found my way out of that 9-to-5 job and began to explore the world as an entrepreneur. And the most beautiful part about that season was the fact that as soon as I had let go of what was putting me down and what was holding me back and taking up a lot of my energy, God really showed up and was like, okay, child, your hands are free now to receive everything it is that I have for you to receive. Right? And so it's so important that whenever we feel like God is nudging us, you know, trying to give us a little nudge to say, okay, this is the direction, that we take that information very seriously. There are so many points in my life, and I'm sure in yours, where you felt God was trying to give you a sign. God asked me, tell me, you know, give me a sign. And then the sign comes and we do not follow through with it because, God, I wasn't ready for that. And so, yeah. Back to what I was saying. So the pivot, continued. I continued to grow. All of these open doors and opportunities started to come my way. As some of y'all know my story, I ended up in Australia, all expense paid. Later on in the year, I ended up in Egypt, all expense paid. I met my elder, Dr. Julius Garvey. Like, there was just so many things that happened in that small amount of time that really showed me that God was rewarding me for following. And so that is like a major part in the pivot before I got here. So I made sure, like, even on my vision board here, there's a girl sitting right over here that is sitting on a cliff with an iPad in her hand. And so for me, that represents being able to work from anywhere. And I did that and made sure that I set up my life in a way that was able to make that happen. So in terms of pivoting my career, everything was already in place. I work online, I make my income online. There are so many opportunities to do that. And but while I've been here, I'm also like, okay, it's great to have my income coming online, but God forbid, who knows what happens to the internet one day. Like, that's not something that I have control over. And as an entrepreneur, it's good to make sure that we have different streams of income, so that you're always fed and you're always eating. And so while I'm here, I've definitely taken up different opportunities to make money using products and making partnerships here in Ghana. So the first business that I started here was I started selling shea butter. I was able to connect with an elder, Auntie Essie, that was able to go up north for me and get shea butter in bulk. And I started to sell that through my Instagram page, really just on my stories. People would DM me for the shea butter. And as I made profit, I didn't just eat the profit, I actually shared it with Auntie Essie. And so that's how you make, business, especially when you're trying to grow in a new country. That's how you make business equitable. And so, yeah, I made sure that that intergenerational collaboration was reciprocal, and I wasn't just using her to go and get me cheaper product and then selling it and not feeding her also. And so that was my first venture here. And then I started 1234 Clothing here. So 1234 Clothing is really just African print, using sort of everyday and modern styles made with African print. And so I'm just gonna leave the link in the description so you can check out 1234 Clothing. So that's another business venture, and there's just so many opportunities for that here. And adjusting to new life, I feel like we're gonna get into a lot of that in some of the other questions, so I'm gonna leave it at that for this question. Kalista, thank you so much for asking, and I want to thank all of you for your love and support. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Peace.